All right, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for being here to celebrate with us in Hawkins County Memorial Hospital, our 60th year anniversary. I want to start it out by introducing Raven Creekbaum. I think most of you know her. Longtime board member for Hawkins County, an advocate for us at the system board level earlier. We appreciate all that she does, continues to do, and also serves as a chaplain for our hospital as well. So, welcome, Raven.
Thank you. It is an exciting day to be here. And actually, I had a speech prepared, but I understand that that wasn't really necessary. That all I really need to do is pray, and I can do that. But I just want to say, since this is such a privilege, that I have served here for many years. I've been a patient here so many times. I know many of you, and this hospital has always had my heart. And we are a tough bunch here in East Tennessee. We have gone through many changes, and we have come out on the other side still standing. So I'm just proud to be part of this group today. And if you would just pause for a moment, and let's just bow our hearts and our heads for prayer. Gracious God of heaven, we always stand in awe when we are gathered together in your presence. And Lord, we are thankful to come here today and be able to publicly celebrate the 60 years of this hospital, of its healing, and of the many people, Lord, who have come through its doors. And we praise you and we give you honor for that. We are reminded, especially in the season, Lord, of Christmas, that you are the true healer. You brought healing to this earth when you came as a baby. And whatever the healthcare facility, that your presence lives there. And Lord, we acknowledge that the years we have spent here, that you have been with us, that you have guided us. So I'm thankful, Lord, for every person who spent time and energy some 60 years ago to provide for the people of Hawkins County and surrounding areas a hospital, a place of comfort and healing, and a place of grieving and dying, a place of compassionate care. Lord, I ask you as we go forward that you will open the path before us and that your hand would guide us, even, Lord, in this world of such confusion and things that are unknown. So we give you all the honor and the glory and the praise for this day. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Okay, I'm going to be brief. I think everyone here in this room knows who I am, but in case you don't, I'm Regina Day, the administrator for Hawkins County Memorial Hospital, and I've been blessed to serve in this role since 2018. I would like to take just a moment. We have several previous administrators in this hospital that have served here. Mr. Frank Hesterman, Mr. Fred Kale, Mr. Rebecca Beck. Did I miss anyone? We celebrate you in the service of this hospital too. I can't go through all the doctors, but we've had many doctors here that have served in the 60 years. Thank you, Mark, for being here. Dr. Dolly Alvey is here with us. We had Dr. Velasco, who had to run through. Dr. Higgins, thank you for your service. We couldn't do it without our physicians, our team members who are outstanding, and of course the community who has supported us through multitudes of changes. I want to speak most recently to our last 2 years. What a struggle it has been for our health system, for our community, for our patients, our team members, to go through what we have all been challenged to face since the coronavirus has hit us. What I am proud to say is that through it all, through the challenges, we have become stronger. We are more of a unit, not only as a hospital, but as a team and a community. We are very proud of our heritage, have been and always will be. We are proud of what we have been, but we look forward to what we will be. So we look forward to another 60 years. Thank you so much for allowing me to serve in the role that I do. It's been a blessing to me. And thank you for supporting our facility. Thank you so much. All right, so, privilege and honor to doing is introducing Eric Deaton. He is our Chief Executive Officer of Ballard Health System. More importantly, he's a strong advocate for Hawkins County Memorial Hospital, and we appreciate you. Eric Deaton.
Great to be with you today. It's great to be with all of you. And Raven, I would be happy for you to give your speech instead of me talking. This past couple of years, as Regina said, has been very trying, to be really difficult for us as we dealt with the pandemic. And every once in a while, I would get a text from Raven, and just telling me that she was praying for me and for our team. And I tell you, there's if you want anybody praying for you, it's Raven, because she's excellent at that, and she's an expert. And so that gave me, Raven, I don't know if I've ever told you how much comfort they gave us and our team to know that, and just how meaningful you are to me personally. So thank you for your leadership. We'd have board meetings at Wellmont, and Raven didn't. She's one of the people who didn't talk a lot, but when she did, it was kind of like E.F. Hutton. Everybody kind of stopped to hear what Raven had to say, because it was very important. And so I just really appreciate your leadership on that board, and just helping us with the transition to Ballard Health. And so then Frank, good to see you today. It's been a while. I remember being in board meetings with you a long time ago with Wellmont. It's great to see you. And then my good friend Fred Pale. This has been great for me. I got to see people I haven't seen in a long time, and I just love and appreciate Fred and all the great work he did for us. And then I had the privilege of promoting Rebecca into the job here of CEO. And I think that CEOs have progressively got better looking all the time, through each one of those. So I'm sorry, Frank. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. But it's been a privilege to work with all of you and to be here today. This year is my 60th anniversary of being born, also. So this is just a great accomplishment, especially in today's healthcare environment. There are a lot of rural hospitals that have closed over time. And over the last several years, since 2005, over 100 rural hospitals have closed across our country. One thing that was really important to Ballard Health when we came together as an organization was to make sure that we were maintaining our rural hospitals. And that was extremely important for us to make sure that we kept rural healthcare alive and well in our communities, because our communities depend on our healthcare. It's a key part of having a vibrant community is having strong health care being delivered here. A few months ago, I got to come by and visit Hunter and Sarah back up on the ED and on the inpatient unit, and I was just so impressed with how well that they were taking care of the patients of the community, how they were, taking care of COVID patients alongside of other people that were coming in. And so hats off to you guys for just doing an amazing job, and thank you for the great work. alongside of the physicians that work here, and I really do appreciate the great work we're providing across the region, and especially here in Hawkins County. When we did form Ballot Health, we really felt like that Rogersville, Hawkins County was extremely important to the organization going forward, because it really is important for us to provide health care here and then have access to tertiary hospitals like Folsom Valley Medical Center. We have over 200 team members here and 50 physicians that support this facility. They're compassionate people. As I said, I've had a chance to see them work on a day-to-day basis, and it's been very, very inspiring for me personally. And so I'm grateful to be a part of this hospital and to all the great work that's being done here. State Representative Gary Hicks was hoping to be here with us today, but was not able to come, but he did send a statement I wanted to read for you. He says, "I hate that I'm not there to celebrate in person. Hawkins County Memorial Hospital team members are a pillar to this community, and we are blessed to celebrate this anniversary with those who kept the doors open of this hospital open." And so Representative Hicks, if you don't know, is extremely supportive of our hospital and our healthcare system. We really do appreciate all that he has done to help us grow and continue to be vibrant in our community. So what I wanted to say today is thank you. Thank you to the community for your support. And on behalf of the senior leadership of Ballot Health, I want to say thank you to our team members in the past, the ones that are here now, and the ones that will be here in the future. And I look forward to coming back in 60 more years for the next anniversary. I don't know if I'll be here or not, but let's try it, Raven. We'll try and do that. But it's just a thrill for me to be here today, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. At this time, I'm going to introduce Linda Williams. Linda does a little bit of everything and has done. She's actually retired, and so she's excited about that. But she worked primarily, I guess, in case management, and so just very important to our hospital system. So, Linda, back to you.
50 years ago, there was a 15-year-old girl whose dad had lung cancer with mets to the brain, and her dad only lived 6 months after his diagnosis despite treatment. And during those 6 months, the 15-year-old girl helped her mother with the care provided at home. Her dad was cared for at the very end of his life as a patient at Hawkins County Hospital. Her dad received excellent and loving care at this hospital. This made a lasting impression on that girl who felt the call to be a nurse. That girl was me, and as soon as I graduated from high school, I started my career in nursing, and I never looked back. I graduated from LPN school 13 months after high school and was hired by Fannie Merle, and oh my, did she intimidate me until I actually started working with her, and then she was a pussycat. She hired me to work the night shift as a medication nurse. The first night on the job, the med nurse called in sick, so I almost walked out right then. Linda Hicks was the supervisor and had to assist me in giving the meds since I was brand new. Well, I didn't walk out, and now I am brand newly retired after working at Hawkins County Hospital for 47 years. I see a lot of other old timers back here too. I did return to nursing school for an RN degree a few years after starting here, and I've been blessed with the opportunity to function in many roles during my career and even work at several Ballot hospitals, but Hawkins County is my home. I'm honored to share my memories of those years with each of you today as we celebrate our hospital's 60th anniversary. Needless to say, the dress code for nursing has drastically changed. For years, it was white clothes, nurse's cap, and white nursing shoes, which had to be cleaned and polished frequently. And I still occasionally hear comments that nurses should go back to this attire. But those making those comments never had to polish those shoes and then shine them, have their nurse's cap knocked off of their head while doing patient care, and try to keep white clothes clean and stain-free. But we did look very professional. When I started working, there was a nursing home on this level, on the ground level, and the patient care was on the second floor. So we've come full circle. The ER consisted of 2 stretchers and was where the mammogram room and the DEXA scan room is now. We had a monitor at the nurse's station, and the patients buzzed in to let us know that they were at the ER. We had no physicians in the building, so the nurse would walk back to the ER, assess the patient, and phone the on-call physician. The physician would give a verbal order for the medication, and the nurse would administer without ever seeing the patient. So I'm just saying, I don't believe we had malpractice insurance back then, but we should have considered it. Physician's assistants were eventually hired for the ER, and much later the ER was moved and expanded in size and provides excellent care to our community. We had no EMS, only volunteer rescue squad members. Our nurses worked closely with them once they brought a patient to the ER, and often a nurse would be expected to travel to Kingsport, Knoxville, Greenville, or Morristown if a patient's condition was serious or a specialist was needed. Nurses rode in the back of the ambulance to assist with care. Many of the rescue squad members worked diligently to start Hawkins County EMS in 1987, and both agencies continue to serve this county, and they're so appreciated for all they do. Oh, and I married one of those rescue squad members. This hospital was involved with the March of Dimes, and we did many fundraisers throughout the years. Everyone here looked forward to the annual bake sale that we had at the hospital. March of Dimes donated a transport incubator to the ER for transporting newborns by ambulance. We had a small meditation room, which was located actually next door, and Raven, along with many others, were involved in providing us with a new chapel several years ago. Now, we used to have a sunroom, and that's where the ER is located now, on the 2nd floor. And there were large glass windows surrounding the room. Families would visit patients in this area if the patient was able. We actually used to have a census of 50 most of the time. Sometimes they had to be placed in a bed in that sunroom, and sometimes all the way down the hallway. But Mr. Deaton, you won't believe this, but Medicare and other insurance was very different back then. We admitted patients to the hospital as an inpatient, even for abdominal x-rays and scopes. And if the family was going on vacation, we kept Granny for a week while they were gone. And then Medicare cracked down and started DRGs, and we were paid by the patient's diagnosis. Not sure what the diagnosis or the DRG is for family on vacation, no one to take care of Granny. There was no observation versus inpatient status. Life was so much easier then. Now, of course, we provide comprehensive outpatient services, and that's why our inpatient load is decreased. There were no computers. We had paper charts only, so everything was written in the chart. Nurses loaded up all the metal charts in a cart and made rounds with the doctors each morning. No hospitalist at that time. No one was looking at length of stay, so patients often stayed a while. The doctor's progress notes were typically very short. In fact, one doctor in particular would write status quo if no major change in the patient's condition. Now try telling that to an insurance company today and see how many days you get approved. Through the years, we've had several computer systems. Hancock and Hawkins County hospitals were the first in our system to test Epic as our electronic medical record. And now all valid facilities, clinics, and offices are on Epic, ensuring more continuity of care for our patients. A lot of training was required, and at one hospital, someone wrote on the bulletin board, "It was definitely Epic." Our phone system was a switchboard located behind the glass enclosure in the lobby. We could not directly call another department, or we had to call the switchboard and ask to be connected. Now, I was told that our switchboard was donated to the hospital from Pressman's home, and some of you may know more about that than I do. We had no computer-based learning, so our annual education and new employee education consisted of made-up games of Jeopardy and Wheel of Fortune or role-playing. We did have a lot of fun. We finally graduated to videos that saved on productivity. Education was part of my duties for several years, and I was told recently that I gave too many tests. Well, we had to have some way to prove competency to Joint Commission, so that's my excuse. We also had no WOWs or MARs. The unit secretary and the RN had to take medication orders off the written physician order and write each onto a color-coded card system. The med nurse would use the card to fill a paper cup with the medication and take the tray from room to room and then document in the chart that the medication had been given. We had no glucometers, so blood sugars were checked by urine samples using a test strip for a guesstimate. Lab and x-ray requests had to each be written out on paper and sent to the departments. The results came back on paper and had to be placed on the chart. Man, the doctors would really fuss now on the wait time for results. Lab, radiology, and pharmacy were always on call during the evenings and overnight, and they were called in often. We used metal bedpans and urinals, which had to be sterilized in the autoclave. I was reminded by a team member recently how well metal bedpans work as a sled in the snow on the hill close to the ER. And I'll withhold further information to protect my team members. Speaking of snow, and we used to have some big ones and much colder winters than we do now, many team members who lived in town walked to work in the snow. One team member said that they had walked from downtown and made it to the top of the hill, and one of the doctors drove by and asked where the team member was headed, and when they said to the hospital, he said, "Well, you're almost there," and drove off. But during times of bad weather, the team members at Hawkins County have gone above and beyond. Those who managed to arrive at work sometimes stayed for days. We cooked, we served food, we washed dishes, we cleaned rooms, and whatever was needed. We got the work done and we took good care of our patients. The rescue squad often assisted in getting staff from all departments to work. We had an OB and nursery, deliveries and C-sections. The delivery room was where the CT area and Darlene's office is now, and the nursery and the OB patients were where the clinic is upstairs. One physician in particular did not enjoy delivering babies, and he usually lost his temper during the process, and he would throw an IV bottle against the wall. That was when we had glass IV bottles. And I don't recall any anger remediation being offered to that physician. Back in the old days, one of our doctors would sit at the nurse's station and whittle while he talked to us. Of course, the staff had to clean up his whittling mess. And smoking was not banned at that time, and one doctor would bum a cigarette from his patient while making rounds, and they both would sit and smoke and talk. We had limited procedures available surgery-wise, C-sections and other abdominal surgeries, scopes, choles, and appies. But I will share another personal story. Beginning approximately 10 years ago, my mother had to start receiving outpatient blood transfusions for a bone marrow issue. She started out getting blood every 6 weeks and then with increasing frequency until she was coming to the hospital every 2 weeks for blood transfusions. The nurses in our surgery department took excellent care of her. She dearly loved them and considered them family until the day she passed. And I was also a patient here many, many years ago, and my main memory of that time was an aide who brought me a blanket from the blanket warmer and covered me up with it. A small act of kindness that I have never forgotten. The word that you hear most often about Hawkins County Hospital is family. Many patients will say they had better care here than anywhere else. Patients appreciate the family feeling and the camaraderie of the staff. It's easier in a smaller facility to know the physicians and have good rapport, and this in turn benefits the patients because of more open communication. Departments here work well together for the benefit of the patient and to provide excellent patient care. Since retirement, I'm no longer here in person, but will always be part of the family at Hawkins County Hospital. I know this is true because those of us who knew and worked with the doctors and the nurses and many others who were involved in opening this hospital 60 years ago still hold a special place in our hearts and in our memories. And those of you who are currently working here will be remembered for years to come also. And I wish that I could mention the name of every single co-worker and patient who has influenced my nursing career, but time won't allow. So I will close and say thank you for allowing me to share these special memories with you today.
Good afternoon. I'm Rebecca Beck, and I think I know most of you in the room as well, but I currently serve as the Vice President of Operations at Holston Valley, and I'm still very closely connected here at Hawkins and Hancock too in our reporting structure across the Northwest Market of Ballard. It's truly my honor and privilege to be here today, and it does feel like yesterday when I started here, January of 2015. And thanks to Eric and allowing me that opportunity, which really helped mold me and give me that true desire of pursuing my further career in healthcare. And it was all due to, as Linda said, the family that we have here at Hawkins County that always will be what the hospital is known for, and to be the staple in the community that we are. So I think that all of what Linda just shared, which was an excellent historical perspective of the facility, really speaks volumes to the team and the community that has supported the hospital for 60 years. And that also goes without saying the reason for the many awards that Hawkins County Memorial Hospital has received over the decades, 3 times over a top 100 hospital in the country, which is certainly no small accomplishment, and one that was done by the hands and the hearts of all that have served this facility and the community. Numerous other patient satisfaction awards, 4 stars out of 5 for CMS, and the list truly could go on and on for all of the accomplishments that have been received here, thanks to each and every one of you who have been a part of it over the years. And it does bring great pleasure to see those who have worked here with us before, and to just know that you're still doing well and still care enough to come back and to visit our current and existing team, and especially over the challenges that we've had for the past 2 years. While the hospital may look a little different in our new integrated care model, there's so many exciting things to come that we're going to begin working on as soon as the new year arrives for additional services, outreach plan with telehealth abilities that will have services such as cardiology, an increase in our general surgery capacity through robotics, and outreach that we'll have to service this facility and the needs of our community. So we're very excited about the technology, the increase in service, and the access to you as the patient, whether it be an inpatient or an outpatient setting. So thank you for being here with us today. It's truly been a pleasure. And I'd like to just invite you to join us for some refreshments in the cafeteria. And if you haven't had a chance to do so, we have some great storyboards that line the hallway that just take us back 60 years ago and what it truly was from groundbreaking and through that first year of being here at Hawkins County. So thank you so much for being here with us today.
So just to conclude, I forgot. Hey, we've got some visitors out in the hallway as well. I'm sorry, I neglected to say them. But if you come down the hallway to the dietary department, we also have some gifts for our guests, all of you, an ornament. And then if you go on back to the dietary area, we've got some refreshments and stuff. And I forgot to mention that our City Rogersville Mayor is here with us. I'm sorry, Jim Sales is here with us. Thank you so much for being here. We certainly appreciate you too. So, thank you again. I appreciate all that you do. Lindy, I didn't recognize you, but you know we love you and appreciate you as well. She's at North West Market City. Thank you, Regina. All right, enjoy. Appreciate you all. Thank you.